Flying into a fifth term, the roar of Putin's nuclear-capable strategic bomber almost as loud as the propaganda machine propelling him forward.
Владимир Путин на борту самого мощного, самого крупного, самого высокоскоростного стратегического бомбардировщика.
This is Putin's desired pre-election image. Strong, vigorous, calling the shots in his so-called special military operation, and letting his chief propagandists campaign on his behalf on state TV.
Он работает до поздней-поздней ночи, начинает работу утром. Мне просто хочется по-человечески спасибо сказать вот нашему президенту.
As we get closer to elections in Russia in March, we're seeing more and more of this more obvious propaganda. But there are also slightly more subtle tactics at play, and the most prominent of those is the constant scapegoating or even outright trolling of the US.
One popular talk show played this split screen on a loop. Putin boarding his bomber, Biden tripping up the steps of Air Force One. News reports on the war in Ukraine regularly showing off the wreckage of Western weapons. There's even a discarded Starlink antenna.
Привет, Илону Маску.
Boris Akunin, one of Russia's most popular modern authors, says the West needs to take note of this.
Putin benefits from this picture of the outside world as something hostile, so that people would unite around him. When the war started, a lot of Russians emigrated. Then they met with hostility. A lot of them had to return, and every single case has been used by Putin's propaganda to strengthen this idea that we are together, we are a besieged camp.
Alexei Navalny knew how to get around Putin's propaganda machine and its long-standing policy of ignoring him. From this cramped Moscow headquarters, which I visited in 2017, he and his colleagues beamed their message to millions of Russians via YouTube. And yet his death was something state media temporarily found itself unable to ignore. First discrediting his legacy,
Он был нацист.
then blaming the West.
А для них, прям отличный тайминг. Впереди выборы. Поддержка у президента зашкаливает.
Finally, turning on his widow, Yulia.
Смотрели на жизнь королевы оппозиции за то время, пока вот он находился в тюрьме.
И когда через 2 часа после известия о смерти мужа жена выходит накрашенная, послушайте, девочки меня поймут, даже тушь не потекла. Это вы умудритесь так.
For Akunin, Navalny's death is more than just a propaganda challenge. It signals propaganda may now be taking a back seat to a much blunter instrument of control, outright repression.
By killing Alexei Navalny, they lost the last chance of trying to pretend that they were legal, decent, law-abiding. Intimidation is now going to be the main instrument.
Sebastian, CNN, London.